Hey everybody, it is Anthony, Maritime Foam, and I am here with a blaster I'm very excited to talk about. It is the new N Series Sprinter. This is the flywheel blaster from the N Series line that I actually got to play with down at Hasbro, down at HQ. As the flywheel guy, I'm really liking this. But was not in my influencer box. I guess they were releasing this a little bit later. This popped up on walmart.ca, links below, and I bought two because I want to add a couple flywheel options to my N Series party loadout. I was a big fan of this blaster. I actually love the colors. I know some people think it's a little too primary color, a little too simple. That's very subjective. I'm a big fan of the look and I really liked how it worked, and I'm super excited to get a little bit of time with it outside of the constraints of kind of a press event. So let's open this bad boy up and check it out. Before I do, this comes with a 16 dart magazine. Yeah, it's a bullpup blaster, comes with 16 of the new N1 darts. If you don't know anything about N1 darts, these are the new, they're hollow inside. These are the new darts. They kind of have the shape of Ultra, but a little wider than a regular dart. Sweaty editing me here. I don't think I mentioned the price. We're talking 30 US and 40 Canadian, which for a Nerf brand flywheeler is not too bad. I find N Series has been pretty aggressive on their pricing. So I thought 40 bucks Canadian was pretty good. And that reflects in my positivity of the blaster. Let's get into the Sprinter. Hey, here it is, the blaster that I have not used in well over a month or so. And it is so good to have a chance to play with this again. Who doesn't love a bullpup Nerf blaster? I know a lot of you do. I think it's really cool that the first N1 series motorized option is a bullpup blaster that's so much in the style of a Raven. Here we have a classic Raven that fires typical darts, and here we have our new Sprinter. So you can definitely see there was some inspiration taken. Kind of cool. For features, this blaster has a fixed stock. It does have an end strike rail on the top here. The front grip has this little thumb hole when I'm holding it in close to fire this thing. Little spot here for a sling point. This thing is nifty. I like all the different cutaways in the shell, all the bits you can see through. You can see kind of the core of the blaster where the magic happens is right here. These are where our flywheels will be. Our magazine's here. A pusher will be in the back, pushing the darts out of this magazine into our flywheels, and they will zip out this barrel. This barrel is super wide. There will be no dart drag in this. When I was testing this down at Hasbro, I was getting 90 FPS pretty regularly. Pretty happy by that. And that was achieved by the fact that this blaster takes 8 AA. So it is a 12 volt system. I'm going to be looking forward to modding this right away because I can't afford using 8 AA batteries, my goodness. I am going to test it with this review with 8 AA, and I'll be doing a mod video pretty soon down the road on this to switch this over to LiPo and see how it does on other types of batteries as well. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This is a 9 volt system. This has 6 AA. I could almost hear the footsteps of people running to the comment section to correct me. This is a big deal for Nerf though, because this is their first foray into those 2 extra AA batteries for the 8+ blaster line. Remember, this is the blaster that they try to ship all over the world and the line that they try to get into as many countries as possible. And as I learned down at Hasbro, there's an awful lot of restrictions that can make it difficult to make big changes to the 8+ line. If you haven't seen it, check out that video where I visited Hasbro Headquarters. I think it's interesting. There's kind of a lot of cool stuff that came up, but I'm pretty biased. I am not 100% sure if these batteries are fresh, but I'm going to guess that they are fresh enough. Oh, I only put in 5. And this battery tray looks like you could easily fit a small LiPo in there. And you know what? There are already community designs out there for extended battery trays. Or if there's not, check out Xbox Games. He's always among the first to have anything out. If you haven't seen my video on the pinpoint where I talk about this new mag, it has spring-loaded retention lips on either side. So you just press the dart down into the top, kind of like the Ultra Speed mag. The great thing about this is you don't have to worry in a Springer about priming the blaster first. You can just load this mag at any time. The kind of bad side to it is if you're not careful, If you press these little spring-loaded pieces, you can have a bunch of darts fly out. And generally, if you take out a mag before your mag's done, you will have kind of one floaty dart in there that might fall out. A little bit of a drawback or penalty for not having to prime the blaster first for springers. I think it's one that's worth it. I don't mind these new mags. My only big complaint about the new mags, I wish that they were ambidextrous and that I could load them either way. But because we have that little nub on the back of the N1 dart, we have to load them in a specific way. And I've already seen at parties with kids using the pinpoint, they've loaded them backwards. And N1 darts are actually pretty hard to get out of a mag if they're loaded backwards. So, ugh, look what I did. I wasn't paying attention. I loaded a magazine backwards, and it is such a pain to get them out. Jeepers. That's a bit of a bummer. Let's load this up. Let's take a shot here and see if it's just how I remember. Pretty snappy. Let's go over to the chronograph and see if these batteries are fresh. 83. Duplicate. Duplicate. 85. 82. 77. 82. And that's all I had in there. Okay, don't mind the mess. I'm doing some reorganizing of some things I found and trying to de-nerfify my place a little bit. I'm about 30 feet back. I came into the hallway so I could give you a little bit better view. And let's see if we can hit some cups. Now, we've already kind of determined that the N1 darts are not as accurate as waffles, but let's see if they do the job, especially with this new FPS. I had a couple fly wild. I'm gonna try again with a full mag. All right, once more down the dark hallway, 30 feet-ish. Not bad. These darts, hey, I like the N Series stuff. I have no problem with proprietary. I feel like a lot of the research time into these darts was probably around making them pass all the tests that are required to be in so many countries, and not so much about accuracy, because they can tend to veer real sharply after 20 feet or so. But you know what? Better than the old Elite darts, and they do seem a little bit more durable. So there you have it. Other features that I might have missed on this is we do have a little jam door to clear right here. We can see inside our N1 dart. If I do release that mag, you can kind of see that there's a dart up there, so that just kind of falls out. Kind of like rival mags. So that is one downside of these new mags. So just make sure you empty that mag at your target. This blaster is not going to be for everyone. I know that people definitely have lots of opinions on the new darts, and I totally get that. From a look perspective, I actually really like the look. I don't mind bright primary colors. It kind of looks like a 3D printed blaster, really, like how you would separate out those colors. I think this one is going to be amazing modded. I want to mod one, keep firing N1 darts with it, and I want to mod another one, and I want to use short darts and talons. I think that would just work so well. You could probably even get away with using the same motors in a different cage and a different crush, and probably get some really good just under HVZ speeds just with these stock motors. I would betcha, but we'll see if we can prove that at some point down the road. I like it. If you've been toying around with N1, I'm just so happy to have a flywheeler in the N1 collection. I have 5 infinites, the big belt fed one. I plan on having 5 of these to go with my party loadout. I like having some motorized options in there as well. Kids like motorized stuff. I will probably play around with making one of these full auto. So many fun projects. That's why we like new Nerf. That's why I like new Nerf. Also, not a bad little mag release. Mags do not gravity drop. They typically do not in Nerf because we don't want things falling on the floor and breaking for kids' toys generally. Not a bad little trigger, little rev trigger down there. I find this okay. It's not too cramped for my hands. Some people might have a little bit of trouble. I don't mind it. I feel like I can wield this single-handedly pretty well, or I could probably dual wield it no problem. I did down at Hasbro Headquarters, and that was fun. And I feel like it's a really good length for something that's supposed to be compact and tucked up against you. I gotta keep that wing in. I'm not really a shooting guy. I want to hear your comments. I want to hear what you think. Do you think this one is a pickup? for your casual gaming? Is it a big miss? I'm looking forward to going down and playing with my friends down in Dartmouth, the 902 folks, and just taking a whole bunch of N1 stuff. And I feel like with the games that they play in the 100 or so FPS range, I could play with this N1 stuff all day. Again, I ran an event where instead of using regular Nerf and then Rival later in the day for older kids, for younger teenagers, I just used N Series all day. One loadout, they hit a little bit harder, but they're nice in the middle. So I have my own reasons from a kid and party perspective where I'm really kind of digging N1. And I get why hobbyists would gripe. What do you think? Do you think this looks cool? If you're watching, are you a hobbyist? Are you more casual? Do you think N1 stuff looks kind of neat? Do you like the look of this? Are you a big bullpup fan? Tell me all about yourself. I want to know. Oh yeah, by the way, no N-Strike barrel lug up there. I do wish we had that new lug that we had on the Storm front Storm, whatever that other one was I reviewed. I wish we had a lug on there for sure, but I'm sure, like I said, Xbox Games, Paper Skeletons 3D, Foam Dot Blasted, someone will put in a little insert. This orange plastic is a separate piece. I am sure someone will do something, and there's no reason we couldn't fit an extension over here and reuse some of these screw holes in the back if we wanted to do a little bit of a extended bumper on the back. People do that kind of stuff for the different Ravens all the time. Next time you see this, hopefully I'll have it modded to some extent, and I'll be able to show you the insides of it. This is just a quick review for those who are looking to buy it and use it as an N-Series blaster. I like it.